Srinath as well, who now joins in. Supriya, the GST panel meet ends. Take us through some of the key takeaways.
Hello.
Supriya, if you can hear me, some of the key takeaways from the all-important GST panel meet, which has concluded.
So no big decisions really. There was no item and revision on the agenda. The e-way bill for intrastate will happen from the 15th of April. In fact, I think the GST Council has spent some time talking about the e-way bill leakages to be plugged. The tax exemptions for exporters, remember, because they were the ones who were very affected, has been given to understand. We're also given to understand at this stage that no decision has been taken on return, simplifying. And, you know, there were no tariff items on the agenda, so we can't tell about where rates have gone down because they clearly haven't. This wasn't discussed. As far as this GST meeting was concerned, much was being made about it, but I don't think much has come out of this. E-way bill for intrastate will happen from the 15th of April, and that's the big takeaway from this meeting.
Okay, Supriya, you know, lots was being watched out for as well when it comes to the e-way bill. And the e-way bill for interstate will begin from the 15th of April now. That's the decision that has been taken.
Yes, that's the decision that has been taken. And in fact, the one big decision that people were looking forward to was return simplification, because Nandan made a presentation, voices within and outside of the government that were losing a lot of sleep on how tough it is for return simplification. There were suggestions on invoice matching, whether it should just be uploaded by the seller and tax credit should be given on account of that, and then reverse if discrepancies are found. But the GOM to consult tax experts to prepare that simplification, so that decision hasn't come through, and the GOM will be taking a call on that. So I really think, as far as the big takeaway from this meeting is concerned, there was no tariff decision because tariff was not on the agenda. The return simplification that everybody's been asking for wasn't there. It's really very scripted, if you ask me. Exports are going through a tough time. We've already been talking about it. So that has been extended, the tax exemptions for them. And e-way bill was the big yay, and I think from that point, extended, e-way bill will help plug leakages in the system, because I think both the center and the state realize one very important thing, that revenue robustness has not happened as envisaged or as planned. And the reason for that is that there is a lot of loophole in the system that is being exploited. There is a lot of issues in the system that traders are taking advantage of. And this e-way bill hopefully should help some of that. Okay, Sandeep Chawla is joining us on the phone line. And Sandeep, thanks very much for being with us. What do you make of the big decisions? The fact that the e-way bill for intrastate will happen from the 15th of April. Obviously, tariff wasn't a decision that was taken. And the finance said very categorically that A, there is no absolute decision on simplification, and also there is no thought yet on including more items. What would you say to that?
Okay. So, first of all, I understand with respect to the GST return, because the interministerial committee which was formed has not been able to come to a conclusion with respect to what should be the form of simplification, and therefore they have not submitted their report to the GST Council, and to that extent GST Council has not taken up this issue as to what should be the exact form and manner in which the simplification would proceed. With respect to inclusion of certain items which we were talking yesterday, as you would recall, with respect to alcohol or real estate, as we said, these are all big ticket items which require a lot of interaction with states to ensure that consensus is built. I think maybe it is not the most opportune time when these issues can be taken up. With respect to e-way bill, obviously, see, the GST collections have not really gone beyond 90,000 crores, merely because that there are certain missing anti-evasion mechanism. The finance minister last time around said that it is very important that some anti-evasion mechanism being put in the place. 15th April now seems to be date, but what I am hearing is that this implementation would happen in a staggered manner, whereby these states would be divided in 4 blocks, and block by block implementation would start. Some states such as Tamil Nadu, Kerala may also start the intra-state e-way bill on the same date when the interstate e-way bill would become compulsory. So that's what is coming out. We'll have to wait for the detailed documents and the minutes of meeting to come out to see what all other issues were discussed and whether there is anything which is in between the lines which is not coming out as far as these speeches are concerned.
And what do you make of the fact that both the finance minister and Mr. Thomas Isaac of Kerala say that they would not want to bring about new items under the GST right now? I mean, I thought one of the reasons what would happen is that they would want to bring new items given that taxes haven't really worked well. And here's a very categorical submission that no thought on bringing that.
See, there are three primary items which are right now outside the GST: petroleum, real estate, and alcohol. As far as petroleum is concerned, the constitution has been amended in a manner and the GST laws have been designed in a manner that petroleum has to come in GST in near future. Now, when will it come? The problem there is that the GST collection has not stabilized and therefore states are actually still not sure what would be their actual collection from GST, and therefore they are very right now critical of what would happen if the petroleum is also taken away from them, and in that case their revenue would be totally dependent on the compensation which they have to get from the state. Also for center, it would become a big issue because if they have to compensate to the states for petroleum also, petroleum right now is approximately 30 to 37% of total revenue for most of the states. So it is a big amount. It's a big political decision. It will take time. Coming to real estate and alcohol.
This is also the big question. But Sandeep, just hold your thoughts there. I've got Mr. Menon also joining me on the phone line from KPMG. And Mr. Menon, I do want to quickly pick your brains on the staggered rollout of the e-way bill from the 15th of April. Both the center and the state have lost some sleep over the evasions about the leakages that have happened. What do you believe this staggered rollout of the e-way bill will do?
Well, I think if you look at the mechanism of the e-way bill, it is not very complicated from the initial look of it. But what went wrong was that when all the trade and industry started using the portal to generate e-way bill, the portal could not take the traffic and it collapsed. And that created a lot of problem across the trade and industry because the dispatches are held up and officers are stopping the vehicle and asking for e-way bill, even when they know that there is an issue with the technology. So it is appropriate for the government to be cautious this time to stage it in four different tranches. Because then they can test the capacity of the system and slowly and steadily they can confidently roll out it so that there won't be a mayhem across the country. Even if it is something goes wrong, that would be known initially itself. So that seems to be the idea behind having a staggered rollout. Having said that, there are various areas where perhaps the answer is not very clear. For example, now, what happened when the truck breaks down and, the 24 hours expired, so they have extended that period now. So there are so many issues with respect to off-site cargoes and return of goods. And the cases where the person is not registered and we have to return the goods, and transporter is now not liable to raise a e-way bill. He is off the hook unless he is authorized by the consignee or the consigner. So how is such situation getting addressed is a question mark. But otherwise, the idea to roll out this in a staggered manner makes sense.